With the All Blacks?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a great relationship with Razor, with the head coach. He's an inspiration. He's such a character, and it was a shame that that the day that we were leaving, they were coming. We tried to set up at different times. It was difficult to do, but yeah, I know him very well.
Is there, I mean, they're seen as like one of the great dominant sporting sort of coaches. Is there anything you've taken specifically from rugby and from them?
Yeah, many years ago, I already read a book that is great. I recommend it to everybody, called Legacy, and it talks about them and the culture and the winning mentality and how they approach sport, life, relationship is really inspiring. And then I had the chance to meet him, and we are in one of the groups together, so it's been great.
Which things from them have you used here at Arsenal?
A few.
I'm sure they won't mind if you revealed one or two. It's all complimentary.
No. It's especially about the culture and the importance of clarity and on importance of what it means when you put a jersey, the sense of belonging to something. When somebody plays with that feeling, I think it elevates his level of commitment. He elevates his capacity to perform and impact the organization in a different way.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
We saw last season at St James's Park. Obviously, the atmosphere there can be very hostile and whatnot. And one of the things that stood out for last time was Kai Havertz and that big tackle he had on Longstaff in the touchline. It kind of got everyone up and together on that day. How important is it that your players are again up for the fight and able to match the hostility if it is the same again this time?
Yeah, with the right emotional control, is good. You need to compete. When you go to these grounds, the intensity, the level of duels that you're going to be approaching, and but it's something that we have improved a lot. But as I said, doing it in the right way, in the right manner, to be very efficient.
It's been reported that Arsenal have been recently paying £18,000 a year for private school tuition for a few academy players. This is something that Man City have done for a number of years at St Bede's College in Manchester. Have you had any input in this at Arsenal at all, and what impact this could have in the future for kids to have that private education background as well as the footballing element too?
That's more probably a question for Edu and for Per probably to answer, and how they are working with that pathway and explaining the right way. But anything that we can support and improve their possibilities to become Arsenal players or professional players, but at the same time their education is completely aligned, so they don't waste any gaps there, I think is really important.
Jordan?
Mikel, as we just said, there was a lot of tension and emotion last season. Do you think playing in those conditions, your team thrives and plays better?
Well, we played with our emotional state normally is very, very good and is very demanding. In this league, you have to do it. It doesn't matter where you play, whether it's home or away. Obviously, it changes certain things in terms of the energy that the crowd provides, but you have to be so good at that. And I think the team has evolved a lot on that.
Do you think the players still have that game last season in their mind and wanting to use it as a bit of motivation?
I think the players have in memory all the games that they play, and when there are certain situation in a specific moment, whether individual or collective, in certain grounds, you tend to recall those moments, whether you scored a goal or you were sent off or you won the game, the victory, the dressing room. You get to a stadium and you start to have things, that dressing room is familiar, and you relate that particular moment or that smell or the visual with something that happened to you or the team there. That's inevitable.
And just, this is a 12:30 game. Does it make any difference going to St James's Park when it's an early game rather than an evening game under the lights? It seems to be more of a special night at St James's Park because it's an early game. Does that have any influence on maybe catching the fans a bit cold if it's a bit early? Or?
I don't know. For the fans, I think for players, I think there are a few that prefer to play early and other under the lights. I always prefer to play in the evening because as well, when I come in from, normally we play more under the lights, and it's a very special atmosphere. It's a different feeling as well. You prepare the whole game, day to the game, but the early kickoffs are really good.
Okay, last couple, Ed.
Just going back to last year, I wondered if you watched it back, what happened, how you reacted, and whether you kind of tried to change your behaviour on the back of that. Because I noticed that this season, when things haven't gone particularly well for you, you haven't
Well, yeah, I had to watch it because I had to go in front of a panel. I watch myself on videotape and give the arguments for them to decide whether I was guilty or not, and they didn't charge me. So.
Okay.
Mikel, could you just go back to Sam's question about the rugby? How do you know the sort of New Zealand coach? Where would you come across?
Yeah, through a connection that I had in Australia with somebody else.
And there's obviously you've got quite a few links to rugby because you also Eddie Jones and other sorts of people. What can you take out of them in another sport? Is it a mental thing? Is it a physical thing? What sort of things?
What I like the most is you can talk openly with somebody that is doing a very similar job in terms of the demands that we all have, but there is no competitive approach there, and you can really be transparent and honest and share things that probably with a football coach that is playing in the league you cannot do it, and that's a really good thing because it's somebody that is in your shoes daily that needs to make very similar calls even if a different sport. So it's great to have that option.
Okay, finally, one here.
Just quickly, sorry you've been asked this before, that 2-0 loss to Newcastle a couple of years ago at the end of the 2022 season, does that loss that kind of still hurt? Was that one of the toughest sort of defeats in your tenure, and did that kind of fuel you going forward to right those wrong?
Which defeat, sorry? You said 2000?
The end of the 2022 season, the 2-0 loss to Newcastle.
Yeah.
That defeat, how does
Yeah.
it still hurt?
Every defeat hurts and you learn from it, for sure.